Losing someone who never chose you, the hardest best thing that will ever happen to you. I've always loved love. I've always dreamed of finding that one person who would choose me, who would be with me through everything. Someone I could trust with my future, someone who would love me just as fiercely as I loved them. And for the longest time, I convinced myself that person was him. But here's the thing, my heart was tangled in someone who always knew what he wanted, and it was never me. He never intended to choose me, yet somehow, he couldn't let me go either. Every time I tried to move on, he'd pull me back in, just enough to keep me on the hook, but never enough to give me anything real. I used to believe that if I just tried harder, if I was more patient, if I just loved him enough, he would finally choose me. But the truth is, he never wanted me. And the day I realized that, it shattered me. Every dream I had built around him came crashing down, and now? He's getting married. To someone else. And for the first time, I see it clearly. He was never confused, he was never unsure. He just never wanted me the way I wanted him. For so long, I cried over someone who never once fought for me. But what I didn't realize was that his rejection wasn't just painful, it was a blessing in disguise. Losing him felt like the end of everything I ever wanted. But now? I see it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. If you're watching this, maybe you feel the same way. Like you've lost the person you thought you were meant to be with. But trust me, this isn't the end for you. It's the beginning of your awakening. The hardest part of losing someone who never chose you, the hardest part about losing someone isn't just the heartbreak, it's the lingering what-ifs. What if I had done things differently? What if I had been more patient? What if I'd played along with his games just a little longer? I know that feeling. I spent years convincing myself that he loved me deep down. I told myself that he was just scared, or confused, or that the timing wasn't right. I waited. I hoped. I believed. But he never did. He never chose me. It wasn't that he was confused. It wasn't that he was scared of love. The truth? He liked the attention. The power. He liked knowing that no matter how many times he pushed me away, I'd always look back. But he never intended to give me anything real in return. He played his games, but I wasn't the fool. For the longest time, I thought he was obsessed with me. Always pulling me back in, always watching, always making sure I never really left. But the second I looked away, the second I thought about building a future without him, he would shut me down. Publicly. Loudly. Ruthlessly, he made sure to tell everyone around him, tell her to stay away from me. Like I was the one who couldn't let go. Like I was the one who needed him. But in reality? He was the one keeping me trapped, and when I finally tried to move on, I thought that if he didn't want me, then surely he wouldn't care who I was with. Right? Wrong. The moment someone new came into my life, he made sure to interfere, stay away from her. Don't go near her. Not because he loved me, but because he couldn't bear the idea of me being free. He didn't love me. He didn't even want me. But he needed me to stay in his orbit, trapped, waiting, holding on to a version of him that I thought could love me. The moment I realized it was over, I remember the moment I finally saw it. It wasn't when he ignored my feelings or rejected me in front of others. It wasn't even when he played his usual games. It was when he chose someone else. It was when he moved on like I never existed. And that's when the truth hit me like a ton of bricks. I was never his choice. I was just an option. A choice he never intended to pick. I cried. I screamed. I questioned everything about myself. Was I crazy for believing in him? Was I imagining it all? But then something shifted. I realized that God doesn't take away what's meant for you. Why losing him was the best thing that ever happened to me, for so long. I thought I had lost something irreplaceable. But now I know, I didn't lose anything. I was spared. Spared from a love that was never real. Spared from a life of being unchosen. Spared from someone who didn't value me the way I deserve. The hardest part of all this? realizing that he wasn't my soulmate. He was a lesson. He was there to show me what unrequited love feels like, so I'll never settle for it again. He was there to teach me that love isn't about waiting to be chosen, it's about choosing myself first. He was there to prepare me for the real love that's coming. The love that will choose me without hesitation. How to heal. Move forward. 1. Let go of the illusion. The person you lost isn't the one who was meant to stay. If they were, they would have fought for you. Stop romanticizing their potential and start seeing their reality. 2. Cut the emotional cord. Delete the texts, stop replaying memories, unfollow them if you need to. Let your heart breathe without their energy lingering in your space. 3. Shift your focus to your future love. Your real partner won't make you feel invisible. They will show up, fully, and choose you without hesitation. Start visualizing that kind of love. 4. Trust the universe's plan. If you were rejected, it was redirection. The person meant for you is on their way. But first, you need to let go of what wasn't yours. Final message: the love you deserve is still coming. I know it's hard right now. I know the nights feel endless. But I promise you, one day, someone will choose you. They will show up for you. And when that happens, you'll look back at this moment, and you'll realize, this was the moment that made you realize your worth. So, if you're crying over someone who never chose you, wipe your tears, straighten your crown, and remember this: you didn't lose them. You found yourself. If you've ever felt like you lost your forever person, share your story in the comments. I want to hear your journey. If you're ready to heal and manifest the love you truly deserve, subscribe to Spirit of Awakened. This is a space for transformation, and I'm so honored to share this journey with you.